I know, right? If you imagine that we started so awkwardly like this, I didn't even get to say my signature line. Yeah, we awkwards. But here we are now. We're back. We're back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. Excuse the bad timing, but as you know, I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me is none other than my co-host Noble.
I wish people didn't smoke outside. It sets off my allergies.
I wish people didn't smoke or stop. It just. Ugh. Besides, I know how you
Yeah.
feel. Surrounded by people who did cigarettes. A couple years back. Yeah, not fun.
Nope.
But yeah, joining me today is also Avira.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. Good to be back on once again and delve into some stuff going on this week. How's your day been, guys? Doing all right?
Oh yeah, it
Noble?
is nice
Joe?
and sunny out here, and glad to have a break from the rain until the rain hits back again next week like crazy.
Oh,
It's
okay. Yeah. I think I was telling you earlier, last night we had a crazy thunderstorm here, pretty much up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And today was nicer. A bit
yeah, I
overcast,
mean,
but, sun was there.
it's crazy, like, because all down here, like, we either get, like, lots of rain all day long, or all the rain happens overnight, as of late.
Do you get any of those roads down? Well, a road down like a couple streets away that basically turns into a river.
I haven't had that since a couple of years back.
It seems to be a yearly thing for me. It's like one afternoon, it's just thunk. You don't want to go down there.
I mean, shit, like, one day, couple years back, one day, I was taking my workmates back home, and the golf course where one of my workmates lived, like, close to where one of my workmates used to live by, basically turned into a friggin' pond.
Oh,
Cool.
goodness.
Did they go fishing?
With that much rain, that would have been actually an experience and a half if you did. But yes, rain is bonkers when it really pours. I'll say that much. So then, shall we jump right in and take a bite about what we've got for the week? Let's. Okay, to start off, like the couple of weeks, there has been this row regarding who dictates what you can play.
So this is something that I've heard about recently. I really don't know too much. Kind of give us like the rundown of what the problem is happening. Is it payment processing or like what's going on with this issue?
As you know,
if you want the Aussie bogan explanation, it's a bunch of bitches with sticks up their ass deciding to try to alter the way the world is.
Yeah, in simple words, like basically Karen's gonna Karen.
Right, so it's my understanding that they're trying to censor adult-themed games, and that certain companies like MasterCard or others that are the banks or like the payment processors have some kind of indirect censorship because they don't want to hurt their brand by using their payment process for adult-themed content.
Right. You did in a simple sort of way. You are pretty much on point with your guess, so you're not completely.
That's my
wrong.
understanding of it.
Yeah, and that's not wrong. And so, like, what we've got is this article. We've got, MasterCard denies pressuring game platforms. Valve tells a different story, and you're right. So a bunch, like we said a couple of weeks back, we talked about how a bunch of feminists basically went full Karen onto the payment processors. They went direct because they tried to go to Steam and go full Karen on them, but when they weren't getting results, they Karen to the payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, and that's very much what we've got right now.
Yeah, let me see your manager. My goodness. So it's like they're not going after the company that hosts the games. They're going after the payment process that allows people to even purchase them. So that in itself is a whole different beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, the problem is, the biggest problem with this whole thing is that if it's legal in the region, payment processors like this shouldn't be making, the final call. If they think that you're committing like crime or something, then yes, but they shouldn't be allowed to step in like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is weird. It's like, because it's
Ooh.
basically just money. See, I don't think that like something like MasterCard, for example, they don't really care. It's more about the transfer of resources, like allocation of capital from one place
Right.
to another.
And that's the thing.
So
That's what it should be. And
people,
the dingo shouldn't
yeah,
have much of a say. But when they decide to go all, dictating, so and so like what purchases here, then what's the problem?
um,
So like
that
that's
doesn't make
what
any
they
sense
say.
either.
Yeah, because what they're
Because
saying
like
now.
people,
Yeah.
hmm.
Boombox has an interesting
Okay, yeah, no,
comment.
I'm just trying to take a step back from that. What's he said?
Visa will be using product placement in a violent or sexual movie.
That's the thing. Like people will
Dang
use
it.
things like Visa to purchase porn or purchase
Adult
guns or
games
whatever they
and
want
all
to
that.
purchase. Yeah, or
Yeah,
games, for example. Okay, fine.
that's the
But
biggest row. And so that's
so
the thing.
what's the problem with the games though? Like, oh my god,
Because apparently
Karens
these
are
games
really
have
Karening here.
objectionable content, which the like like very 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 questionable content, not just because it's adult in nature. And like
Okay,
they
so don't
said,
buy them.
and this is the rich statement that Mastercard has said. At the same time, we require merchants to have appropriate controls to ensure Mastercard cards cannot be used for unlawful purchases, including illegal adult content.
And there it is, illegal.
Right, are games inherently are adult games inherently illegal content?
No.
Right.
No, but if they were selling like drugs or something on the Silk Road, maybe MasterCard, maybe they can track their payments and be like, something's off about this website. Maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
allow our services on there. I don't think they've ever really stepped in and never done anything like that before. Because for the most part, people will either use these cards like as fraudulent or just use like Bitcoin. So this is more on the surface level.
Right. And that's the main thing that we've got right there. And so the row actually continues. So with that said, like what happens is like after all the complaints happened, they had to remove games with certain adult content from the library, from
So
its
Steam did.
library. Yeah, like from the so you can't buy them because of that, just for compliance's sake. Like Steam and other platforms, itch.io, on all of that, so you can't get your hands on those.
Wait, so Steam and other platforms, they got rid of certain games because MasterCard wouldn't work for the payments, or like how exactly
Yeah,
does that work?
right, because they wouldn't like the payment receiver would just get dingoed. Yeah,
Rejected.
yeah.
But then why is MasterCard saying that they have no direct influence though? Like
They're trying to basically cover
why are
their
they denying
asses,
this?
basically. And so Steam is telling a different, is claiming a different story here.
Let's read on what they
Right.
said after
So,
illegal content.
according to Valve, MasterCard did not communicate with Valve directly, despite our requests to do so. MasterCard communicated with payment processors and their acquiring banks. Payment processors communicated this with Valve, and we replied by outlining Steam's policy since 2018 of attempting to distribute games that are legal for distribution. Valve said its response was rejected, quote unquote, by the payment processors, who noted the quote unquote risk to the MasterCard brand and pointed to a MasterCard rule against quote unquote illegal or brand damaging transactions.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
So there is something.
Yeah.
There is something I want to bring up specifically regarding this. I'm not 100% sure it might be solely MasterCard and Visa's sort of place. They may simply be the front for it.
Right.
I have seen news stories where apparently it's the actual banks that would have been targeted directly.
Right.
So if these Aussie bitches are going after, well, banks instead, or as well, that's really pushing it.
Yeah.
This whole thing is pushing it. Now I'm just starting to wonder, like, what exactly was being banned? Like, what was it? Like, is it actually illegal, crazy, bonkers nonsense? Or is it just like some adult themed game that maybe might be a little risque or something? Like, what exactly, like, why are they pushing so hard for this? That's really what I want to know.
They're Aussie
Like, what did
women.
they find?
Look, Avira, some Aussie women,
Nothing?
they don't need a reason to do shit like this. They will just basically go completely off their fucking
It's
rails.
the Thingo brain. It's the sexy women bad brain that
Oh,
that
so this is
lots
just a
of
total crash out
jealous
then.
women seem to have, among other things.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Okay.
But to get back to the whole Thingo thing, it's just so funny. Like the whole certain transactions are just damaging to the MasterCard brand.
You can't buy the 15 plus game on Steam.
Right.
That will make us look horrible.
And the funny part is we've kind of talked about the same thing regarding how how Japanese banks couldn't approve the whole thing with like adult manga artists, like the whole same issue. Like the brand, Visa Japan wouldn't do those transactions because it would cause reputational damage to the brand if they did such a thing.
Huh. That's an interesting point. I wonder how this works internationally. Do you think, like, in the United Arab Emirates, they have, like, MasterCard or other, things, Visa
That's
maybe,
a very
that
very you
don't,
bring up a very interesting point, like
let's
regarding
say if they're selling gay flags or something, maybe they don't want to support payments for pro-gay propaganda and stuff like that, right?
right. You raise a
Maybe.
very very good point that you can't. That's kind of a bit forbidden to talk about, because at that point, which stingos make the rules as to what's going to be damaging to the reputation of said banks. You're
Yeah,
right.
well, it's like why companies wouldn't want to change their logos to the rainbow flag during Pride Month if they are based in Middle Eastern countries that are, predominantly Islamic and more conservative in that
Mm-hmm.
way. Maybe those companies, might be like, hey, our reputation amongst these millions of people that live in this
Mm-hmm.
country, we're not, we're gonna support what the government wants us to or what society does. So it doesn't. That could be the case.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into it, but I'm sure. I mean, if they're doing this now with games in certain ways, then maybe.
I'll be honest, but I'd be really curious to see what's next.
Yeah.
Right. Because if adult games were basically the shocking what's it called frontier as to what's happening, then what could be next.
It'll honestly be funny if these twats decide to target adult stores in like brick and mortar ones, and have Visa and MasterCard refuse to service those places. Gun shops. What else are gonna piss off Aussies? Well, at least the like ones with a high Christian value. Card shops. The like ones that sell Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, that sort of thing.
Yeah, gaming
That would be
stores,
damaging to your brand reputation with the, whatever, blah, blah, blah crap.
Right.
Yikes. That's a slippery slope, man.
Exact too right on that one. And at that point, you just basically consider like, what are your, going forward, like, what are your other options here in that case? Like, do we basically like, shun credit cards and then start the whole day of doing things with cash money and just start mailing cash to get the stuff?
Yeah, either that or crypto.
Do we or do we use crypto coins? Like, do we buy stuff using bitcoins and all of that?
I don't know. It is kind of spooky if you think about it, just how few companies throughout the entire world actually do process payments. And, like,
Right.
there's really not too many of them out there.
Avira, if you look into how the whole financial system works, you'll probably want to turn around, go outside and scream.
Oh, what? Like, I put on my tinfoil hat and be like, it's all connected. Everything's all one. Nah, dude, I know it's all fucked.
No,
I
I'm
know.
more referring to being attached together with duct tape and like cheap ass glue.
Like on the pin board with all the photos of strings and
Right,
shit.
the one
Maybe
meme
a
from the
decade-year-old
office.
pinboard.
Yeah,
You gotta
like
have
It's
your
falling apart.
conspiracy pin board. You got it.
yeah, just do like that one pin from like the Pepe the Silva film, meme from the office. That's what I think it is.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's one of those things where I've looked at it and thought, right, it should really be
And
stripped
Silva.
down and redone from scratch.
Yeah, Pepe's. Yeah, Pepe's over. But yeah,
The only thing I can be satisfied about after all this is done and dusted is that governments are going to have to turn around and start putting out laws where payment processors like this cannot refuse quote
and
unquote
that's
legal transactions.
something that the Trump administration has actually recently done by pushing an executive order that for that very same thing, the unlawful debanking sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Debanking. Thing is, laws are different in different countries. For example, in places like Germany, you can't sell Nazi propaganda with swastikas on it. That's illegal. Now, you can do that in America or pretty much anywhere else in the world, but they have specific laws against that particularly, so you can't do that in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
It gets very difficult to like track all these purchases and whatnot. Like if you're a German citizen, you go to a different country, you do that. Maybe you pay in pounds instead of euros. Like it's a whole complicated, all of that. But this instance, it just seems like some Aussie Karens are mad about adult content being sold, and they just don't want it to be sold. So in that case, I would say either one, just don't buy the game, or two, maybe if it's not illegal, then what is the problem?
I think you're misunderstanding the actual problem. It's these people, these bitches are upset that the game is being sold altogether, or games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, why though?
Right.
I just don't understand these people. And to go to
Because
these lengths.
it's the sheer that's the thing with some Karens. It's the sheer Karens all over the world. It's the sheer existence that it is there. It's like a segment of the furry community where the knowledge that this type of thing exists is so damaging to their mental capacity that they can't do anything but lash out.
Oh, so basically us, like the furry raiders. We just exist.
Yeah.
And they lose their freaking
that
minds.
We're here is so traumatic that some people have to go off their fucking rails. And then it's fun to watch, and it's just like it's the same with these like Karen Aussie bogans. It's a very small portion of the actual women in this country that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
It gives majority of them a bad fucking name, and it's just psychotic.
Yep.
I mean, shit.
That's always how it is. Oh man. But I was looking at the article. It said that MasterCard specifically, like they want to kind of deny involvement, cover their ass. I don't know if they kind of overreacted to this Karen situation. It makes sense if they did, for their brand and all that. But I think they had to backtrack a bit.
The publicity for this would be a fucking nightmare.
I think. Well, let's just say, like, which is the one that has caused more reputational damage at this point? The mere act of buying these supposedly illegal to distribute adult games, or just doing this, doing a rug pull.
Yeah, I'd say the censorship is what people are more upset about. If anything, they don't want censorship, and this only hurt their brand more by trying or by caving to this and then lying about it. See, that's crazy.
Now, what was the name of that shop in the US that sold games that sort of went under, but then not completely under, but sort of crashed almost? And some internet twats decided to have a bit of fun and make a shit ton of money by buying all the stocks. What was the name of that? GameStop. Now,
GameStop.
So, Avira, in the US, how's GameStop usually seen, at least in your area?
How is it seen? What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, is it sort of like a okay? Is it sort of an eye roll if you want to go in there? Does it have like a really massive
No.
negative reputation?
I mean, I haven't really been to GameStop in quite a few years. No, it's not really on my radar. There is a GameStop in like my local mall. It's like a few blocks away from me, so I'll go in there. I used to go in there years ago, but there's really nothing I have to say about it, I guess. It's kind of just a store at this point. You know, I don't really consider. I'm not really much of a gamer, unfortunately, so
Well, the thing
I don't really
is
have an
that
opinion.
Steam can utilize shops like that. In Australia, it's the post office. You've got supermarkets and some news agencies. Hell, I've even seen some like dollar stores, what you'd call here in Australia, turning around and flogging off recharge cards for things like iTunes.
Hmm.
Steam could simply turn around and just ramp up their gift cards in those places.
Yeah, sure. I guess they could.
That way, they're completely sidestepping banks and all that sort of shit and just going, almost straight with cash.
Yeah, I mean, there are some sketchy stuff though about GameStop. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna get into a story now. Never mind.
But no, that's the other option, is that they could ramp up, those voucher cards for purchases on Steam. Oh, well, it'd be fun to see how bad this ends up being for MasterCard and Visa. It'd be interesting to see whether or not any banks' names sort of gets, plastered all over the internet for, pushing this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're already starting to backtrack and be like, well, actually, we weren't directly involved. And I don't know if they really were directly involved or not, but I'm sure they had their PR teams talking about this, obviously. So we'll see. I think I might just stop here. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a problem if this really is just a Karen crash out at this point. It's more about the censorship and how much people are opposed to that rather than whatever content.
Right.
If you don't like it, then don't buy it. Easy, But, Karens don't think rationally. So what are you going to do?
No.
Run before they hit me with their car.
Yeah, right. Avoid at all costs.
That's the plan.
Oh, boy.
So, speaking of censorship, we have another one a row this time. That's unrelated to the bank stuff, but all the same regarding adult content and things. So, as you've heard, like in the last couple of years, as of recently, and I'm sure it's no secret that Adobe's kind of in a troubled spot right now. What with their, to say nothing about the whole business model and their current programs adopting AI functions. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we're going to take that one step further here, because now word on the wire is certain Japanese artists, or Japanese or otherwise, have basically been locked out of using Adobe services. How? Let's have a read here from this artist. I was uploading an SFW illustrations to Adobe Cloud, and my account got banned without any prior warning. If I had known they were even monitoring the cloud like some kind of censorship, I wouldn't have trusted Adobe in the first place. I'm in the middle of filing an appeal, but if this doesn't work out, I might have to ditch Adobe altogether. They're just too high-handed. Here's to breaking free from Adobe.
Yep. And that's the problem right there. When you download these programs and it's like a subscription service sort of thing, it's not physical media. You can't actually use the service if you don't have a physical copy. And that's just one thing. That's just one thing. Not even the censorship thing, because they were looking at their cloud stuff that they saved to the cloud and then decided to ban the account because it was not that's messed up. Like, that is some invasive stuff right there.
The biggest problem with this whole thing is that anybody who's under an NDA is completely and utterly fucked now if they turn around and use Adobe software. If you're under an NDA and you upload or you edit something in Adobe software and it's being monitored, and the NDA states that only yourself or other people in the contract can only see this material, those
Oh,
people are
shit.
fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right.
Adobe's step like this, they're fine. Okay, so what? It's just some Japanese person doing, anime porn. It does. Yes, it does actually fucking matter because it shows that Adobe's actively monitoring things that are being done on their servers, but
Uh-huh.
haven't seen whether or not they're doing it on people's local machines. Because if they start doing that, anybody in the entertainment industry cannot utilize the software anymore, which takes away Adobe's position completely.
Yeah,
This
and
is
remember, this
nasty.
goes. Oh, dude, and remember, this goes directly to their like the cloud, the servers, right? So, and they can look back apparently the entire gallery or whatever every file someone has ever uploaded, right? So, let's say 2 years ago you posted this sexually explicit image of whatever the fuck. Now they can just ban their account because of that from an image they posted 2 years ago to their own private thing, like their own cloud, right? That's
Articles I've seen, one
that's
suggested
what we're
that if
getting to.
someone's working on a really popular show and they have to edit a video or produce a photo that's like a graphic murder scene and their
Mhm.
account gets banned, oops. And let's say the show is extremely popular, the showrunners are not going to be very happy with that sort of thing. Delay because of Adobe.
Yeah. Or that's a good point. Or let's say it's a very popular show, using the same example, and there's some like animation stuff like for an upcoming finale or some big episode, and it's like you don't want that stuff being leaked. But whoever's in charge of, looking this stuff over, well, shit, now these secret animations are now leaked because, they were posting them to their own cloud. They were not for anyone else to see, but the company can see that. So let's say if it was explicit or something, and that was out there. I mean, I'm just saying there's like a lot of different avenues and ways for this to be very legally murky.
Okay, so years
Right?
ago there was this thing with Google where people's
Mhm.
like search histories were being itemized and searched and looked at,
Yep.
and
Cataloged. Oh yeah.
this reporter decided to go through someone's Google, and they're like, "Oh, this looks like you're a murderer. What's going on here?" "Oh, I'm a show writer for Dexter."
Oh, that's hilarious. Wait, they were able to determine. That's so
It
crazy.
made him look like a murderer, despite the fact that they're a writer, so they need to go look up stuff, fresh material for a show. It's the same sort of
That's
case
wild.
here. It's what I've mentioned before. What's going to happen? I mean, I personally would love to hear from people who work in the entertainment industry currently, especially for Disney or Marvel, just knowing how, they've got a giant ass hammer hanging above their heads. The second they step out of line, they're basically, shish kebabbed.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that when you the implications of what it means if you got denied service for making such for such egregious content, but you are 100%
Exactly.
Or even there's a movie going back years I watched. It was some shitty TV movie, and this mother took photos of her kids.
Mhm.
You're not the type you turn around and share with everyone, but
Right.
and she took the photos in to get developed. She's also a professional photographer, and she got reported for being a pedo.
What? Why?
Right.
Because she took
Because
pictures
the
of her own
photos
kid?
looked, and they apparently were in a suggestive sort of state. And I'm thinking, oh, this movie's fucked. But similar thing can happen here with Adobe. Whether it's
Yeah, I just don't
personal
like the
and
fact that they can
not,
look into your history.
well, it doesn't surprise you. It shouldn't really surprise anyone because of the way systems actually function. And these aren't getting manually reviewed. These are getting flagged by some fake AI thing that couldn't tell the difference between, anything. Bloody hay fever. Look, it is fascinating to see how badly Adobe's trying to screw themselves over while seeming like they're on the top of the mountain.
at the end of the day, like there are two inherent problems here. Like what is it though? Like, is it because of the whole heavy-handed, that when you subscribe to when you subscribe to put your cloud service and you need to put your stuff there for storage, what determines what content is like, objectionable and that sort of thing.
Well, it's just Microsoft and Apple will basically be doing exactly the same sort of thing.
Right. Like peeking into your cloud and just censoring the stuff that's in your cloud because if the content is supposedly objectionable.
Yeah, I don't know why any of that stuff is like not private, like it should be. For example, let's say if you want to take some very sensitive pictures of your driver's license, your passport, important documents that you want to keep, privately, like in your own cloud and stuff. God forbid if there's a fire, all the documents are lost.
Ever
stuff like
do
that.
shit. Sorry, don't ever do that shit.
I people do it, like as a backup. I'm sure they do.
I've gotten a hold of a computer once that, let's just say, had enough documentation on there to commit fraud.
Yeah, you can totally take over his identity, get into his bank accounts, probably all that shit. Yeah, of course, people do it. I'm just saying. So if that should be private, I don't know why. Like, it's like a storage unit, right? Like when you buy a storage unit, do you think the storage people really give a fuck what you're putting in there? It could be an old table, some books, whatever the crap you're putting in there. But like, they're not going to go in there and look around and snoop at your private stuff. It's kind of the same thing here, but digitally. So why are they doing that? That's not cool. Unless the person's a criminal, then of course, if there's evidence to warrant a search, I guess. That's
yeah,
it's
as long as it's done legitimately. Anyway,
yeah, like it's messed up.
As I've said before, I'm just going to repeat again. It's shocking to see how bad Adobe's trying to screw themselves over 3 ways from Sunday.
How are they going to resolve this? Like, what do you think their response should even really be?
Well, last I heard, they modified Adobe. Apparently, currently with Adobe, when you want to save a document, they much prefer you to save it to the cloud versus just to your local machine. I had the same issue when I was using Microsoft Office. It preferred that I saved it to the cloud, and if I didn't save it to their cloud, I couldn't do an autosave. So for some reason, Microsoft's technology took a giant leap backwards, having the incapability of being able to do an autosave every couple of minutes on a document.
No, that's on purpose. That's an incentive for you to save it to the cloud. That's totally like a tactic that they use. Yeah, 100%.
And my assumption is Adobe's doing the same sort of thing, because I do remember a number of years ago with Adobe Cloud that they were pushing for you to save it to the cloud instead of the local machine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing totally suspicious about that. It makes sense, like for convenience, but still.
Right, like it's not so much a convenience feature, but more of a like a thing because it's all about like who really does like want to see like what your projects. Does Adobe get the thing to look for it? No, it shouldn't be the case. Local storage is one thing, and so with that sort of thing, we basically now have to come to an issue with like what should we use for when it comes to like storing your own personal creative projects. Like if the Adobe Cloud is not if it's not trustworthy.
Get about 4 storage devices and cross your fingers.
Right. Yeah. There's that.
Floppy
like,
disks.
you can have the own hard drives, do your own NAS, or even like there are and online storage is a bit of a tricky thing because what happens if the servers die, right?
Well, there's always Mega
that's a
as an
problem. Like if
option.
the server goes down.
Yeah.
Or you can buy like those like storage bricks and like certain like they have gigabytes up to like. Well, I'm not sure exactly how much storage, but a lot of storage. I have one of those.
Yeah,
Look,
that's why I said like a NAS.
If you had the financial capabilities and you had like sensitive data, you would definitely want to look at some online sort of storage things. Something like Microsoft's a really bad idea because if you try to upload an encrypted file that's password locked, I do know Google doesn't allow that because I've tried. And if you leave a password in an email for that file, well, guess what the software is capable of doing on server side? Oh, here's a password for a zip file. Yoink, zip, open, snoop. So yeah, you'd want to find a place that A, will allow you to upload encrypted backups, and B, actually, upload your backups encrypted, because if someone gets into your account, you've at least got, that as a way of protecting it. There's what's referred to as off-site local storage, where you have either a second house, a storage locker, or somewhere else where you're able to secure your data, and you keep backup there on maybe one or two drives or a couple of different types of media, preferably not floppy disks, because anyone bastard with a magnet can turn around and screw it over for you. Same with hard drives.
I do like floppy disks. But yeah, like
Avira, go look up the dinner
USB,
size.
shit like that, of course.
There's a dinner-sized neodymium magnet. Sorry, dinner plate-sized neodymium magnet. They're fun. They're dangerous. Don't put them near electronics. So, yeah.
Yeah, another pretty powerful.
Fun stuff. Again, I do want to reiterate that this is probably that point in time where I should also say that others should look at other art programs that do not have the same finger as Adobe does.
What was that software we spoke about before that was trying to shove it to Adobe?
There's plenty of other software options. We've got like Affinity, we've got Studio Paint, we have
GIMP.
Yeah. Yes. Even though you want those old things like that or Paint Tool Sci.
There's also like older versions of Photoshop that don't turn around and cause you a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah, that one.
Yes,
without
the
even
old version of Photoshop, where you don't have to pay a subscription or be online for it. Remember those days? You can actually have tools on your computer and not have to continuously pay for them. Yeah, that was nice.
Exactly. 100%. Yes. So, with that said, now that we're going to move on from this row, we have another interesting item that we'd like to talk about here.
Uh-oh.
An item about... Here, let's have a look. Here. Okay. This is a bit of an offbeat sort of thing. So we got this title. A Denmark zoo asks people to donate their small pets as food for captive predators.
I suppose that's one way to abandon an animal.
Oh boy. So this is serious, right? The Denmark Zoo asks people to donate their small pets as food. I would imagine... Well, what kind of pets are they looking for? Like mammals? Like gerbils? For the snakes, probably? What do you do with a...
That's a good question. That is a very good question. We'll get to that in some sort of thing. Let's read a bit of these things here. So, the Aalborg Zoo said it is trying to mimic the natural food chain of the animals housed there, quote unquote, for the sake of both animal welfare and professional integrity, and offers assurances that the pets will be, quote unquote, gently euthanized by trained staff. Okay. Interesting. Next one. The zoo in Denmark explained in a Facebook post that if you have a healthy animal that needs to be given away for various reasons, feel free to donate it to us.
They're not playing around.
Oh yeah, the zoo points to guinea pigs, rabbits, and chickens as possible donations. After being euthanized, the animals will be used as fodder, the zoo said. That way, nothing goes to waste, and we ensure natural behavior, nutrition, and well-being of our predators.
Okay. I really don't see anything wrong with this. Unless, a few things, of course, have to be taken into consideration, like if the animals are vaccinated, if they have any chips implanted in them.
Dangerous diseases.
If they have any diseases, yeah, of course. And of course, the well-being of the individual who's actually doing this. Let's say if their dog just had 8 puppies and they don't know what to do with them. Yeah, they could adopt them, or they could, feed them to the crocodiles. Nature, I guess. I guess
Nature, I guess. You're right.
it's kind
I
of
mean,
that's something. I don't know what caused them to come up with this idea unless they're like low on food or something.
So, yeah, does it say anything else in the article about like why they're doing this?
Yeah, like is it like for a
no, it
fundraiser
doesn't.
or what?
It doesn't really say why else they're doing such a thing. Like they couldn't reveal traditional details. They just said that this is just a thing. Like their main motive is just asking for food, like for small pets that can be used as food for its predators. And of course,
Yeah,
like
fun
what
for the whole family.
right? Like and what do predators need to eat? Like in terms of of where they're positioned in the food chain, they usually eat meat.
I can imagine
Mhm.
someone now sneaking like a chicken or a gerbil or something into the zoo and like throwing it into the pen.
Right.
I'm sure it's happened many times.
Yeah, like they say please don't feed when they say please don't feed these animals, and they still try and bring that sort of thing in.
Well, at a place like this, it's like, no, please do. Talk with one of our supervisors. Oh my goodness. So this is interesting. Yeah, I thought there'd be like a reason why, or I don't know if like the stray cat population in Denmark is out of control. There's too many wild dogs or what have you. But
If it was Vera, I'd
yeah.
think if it happened to be like feral animals that were causing an issue, they'd like do a deal
Mhm.
with the council or whoever was in charge of the region to bring in all the feral animals that they can catch.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. So this is just, I don't know. Maybe it's just something fun for the promotion of the zoo. I say fun in a dark way, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina, your little gerbil died. Oh, it's okay. Here, let's go to the zoo. You can watch him get eaten by a snake. It's nature. Now you learn something. Fuck, I don't know what they're. I don't know.
I
So have they
personally think
actually
it's
done? Like,
cruel.
have they started doing this process? So what do they mean? Like, what kind of pets? Like my full-grown German Shepherd. If I don't want him anymore,
Like they
to
said, they have they did
to the
just say
lions.
it's small, yeah, just small stuff. Like not you're not. It's not like you're gonna own a pet lion or anything.
No.
I know. Like they said, they're really looking for small stuff, right? Pet rabbit, pet guinea pig, a pet chicken, and all that. Yeah, to be fed. Hmm. But it just makes you wonder, right? Like, is the zoo, or are they really, really like running out of meat to feed their predators?
Well, they could be in some financial strife at this point, but we won't know until they actually say anything about it.
Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, just the very idea of it really, really just makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's just
Well, not really, because I can remember a few years ago, zoo turned around. I forget where it was. They cut up one of the animals they had and fed it. I think it was a giraffe, and they fed it to like a lion or something.
right.
Welcome back.
Hey, sorry about that. Bad connection. Yeah, I guess my main question would be, have they actually started to do this where they actually did get some people's pets that they don't want anymore? Like,
I
I
mean,
guess they
it's
can do this, right? Is it legal?
I imagine so.
yeah, because it's voluntary.
Hmm. How much does it cost to have a pet cremated? Like, how expensive is that on average?
That's a bit of a
I don't
thingy
know. Like,
because
I'm just guessing. Like, let's say if it's, I don't know, $100, or it's probably more than that. I don't know. And they can't afford it, you know. But you said small stuff too, so this is just weird.
right, no, actually, not just small stuff because get this. Now, upon a quick cursory look, if you type in Aalborg Zoo, what
Hmm.
you could actually find is that there's a woman who basically donated a pet pony to the zoo.
Oh, that's cool. Not
Right.
for food, right? Like actually just a pet pony,
Well,
like a horse. Oh no! Wait, did it die? What happened?
a woman has explained why she gave her daughter's pet pony to a zoo, which
Wait.
was an out. Right.
Oh my God. Wait, was it actually fed to the lions?
Why does it have to be lions? What about cheetahs?
Well, cheetahs are
Hyenas.
smaller. They're well, hyenas are. I don't know.
I don't know. You could
I
put
like
hyenas.
lions.
You could give it flavor of whatever, because hyenas are scavengers.
Yeah, it's like in the Lion King. When the lions eat the prey, then the leftovers go to the hyenas. Yeah, it's nature, man. So, and what happened with the pony though? Like, she donated it to the zoo. Okay, cool. Then what?
Right, and then yeah, I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion.
Oh,
What
so you think they chopped it up and then gave the ground meat to like?
like they said, they euthanized the pony, and then yeah, they would. That's the thing. That's like the conclusion that would follow.
Oh my
They
goodness.
sent it to get prepped and then fed to the animals. Look, this is the type of thing you probably shouldn't talk about or gloat
Oh
about,
boy.
but it seems like she did, and people responded negatively, which really understandable.
I wonder if she was one of those like spoiled brat girls growing up, like, Daddy, Daddy, I want a pony. I want a pony, damn it. And he's like, all right, princess, here you go. Gives her the pony. Years go by and she's bored with it and then decides to send it to the zoo.
Maybe they should have put a tattoo on its ass or something.
Like you're branded for
Or
food, like
a
completely
taste,
branded for food.
a tasteful cutie mark. Sure, that makes sense. Like a skull and maybe like a skull and crossbones, like it's doomed. Oh my god.
Oh, oh man. Oh man. That is thing all over again. But I think there is something that I just find like you just could not help but find hilarious in the whole, in the logic behind it all. It's the whole, the zoo has a sort felt like they have this sort of obligation to mimic the food chain.
I mean, as I said at the beginning, I really don't see anything particularly wrong with this. Like, if let's say the zoo is, low on funds, right, and they're struggling. Like, you know how much animals eat per day? It's really a lot. Like how much water they drink, all those
Mhm.
resources, and if they can have a nutritiously packed, fresh, meal, and maybe helping the community, getting more attention out there for the zoo, more people will come in. They'll get some revenue to help take better care of the animals. I mean, I don't really see this as a problem unless, things are vetted for diseases and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it kind of, I don't think they're doing anything wrong per se. I guess that's where I'm at. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a little morbid, but whatever.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
It's kind of more. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is kind of weird for sure. You
I,
don't typically see this, but I guess that's why they're getting more attention.
true, true. All right. So we have, if my calculators are right, enough time for one more oddball segment item, and I think I'm going to let Noble decide which one he would like to talk about. Would you like to choose between a weird dog show, or yeah, or that bargain bin Powell thingy?
Bargain bin Pal World, sadly.
Yes, 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 yes.
Bargain bin Pal World. What is that?
All right, so there is a game, like as you well know, Palworld has been on the chopping block for a lot of controversial stuff, and it's been brought up that there is a game called Pal Land,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
somehow made it on the Nintendo Switch, and let me just get the thing up for you so you can kind of see what I'm going on about. This is what it looks like.
Oh, okay. It looks like pretty well animated, I guess. Kind of looks like a Pokemon to the left there, like a Charizard head on a Squirtle body. Interesting.
I mean, this is a bit different. Like aesthetically, it looks like it's some sort of thing on like a kid's cartoon. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. The main character in the center looks more video game-esque, but yeah. So what's up with this? The line between inspired by.
And Blatant Copy just got blurry with Powerland. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, yes. Like, have a look at this image here. Like, it's
The gameplay is terrible. It's like Pokemon's not Sword and Shield, the last two Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet that came out. Probably as buggy too, if I recall from what people were saying when they played it
right
on the
and
Switch
then, like,
too.
And you know what? When I looked at the little the demo reel for it, I just said to myself, this looks like a game that you can find on the App Store or something. That was just
Except
yeah.
to make a quick buck.
it's sold on the Nintendo eShop for the Switch.
Yeah, wow.
So what's the game like? Is it similar to Pal World in like structure
like,
and
yeah.
movements
I
and
mean,
all
look
that?
at this. Like,
Environments.
have a look at this picture here.
Mhm.
What you have is this the character basically firing what sorts to be like an electric ball at this mammoth-like thing.
Okay, yeah. Right. So it's like similar environments. You're basically fighting like monsters and stuff. Now, do you have like your own little house? Like, is it like how similar is it to Pal World? Aside from the name, which they have Pal in the name, they probably shouldn't. They could have done Friendland. That might have worked.
Mhm.
But yeah, like how similar is it actually to Pal World itself? Like, is it directly a spin-off, or does it have anything unique about it?
It seems to just basically be cashing in on the idea, and it's almost as if like somebody said, why don't we just use AI to generate a ton of assets and stuff, and and
Oh, do you
bam,
think that was what happened?
Yeah, because apparently, people are supposedly quick to point out that that somebody made it look like this. It's definitely an AI ripoff. Or some yeah.
Also,
so they're incorporating AI stuff.
The trees look like they've got giant boulders on top of them,
Like
not leaves.
It's something, you know what? And I dare say it's got something to do with a game that was made in the mid to late 2000s, like graphically, like as if you're playing a game like Spore or something.
Yeah. Well, that could be an aesthetic choice, though. Maybe it just renders easier.
Avira, do you know about the lawsuit between Sony and Sony and Nintendo regarding Power World?
I am not familiar with the details. No.
We've talked about it on the show a couple of times. It's Game
Freak
I'm just not
the
familiar with the
Pokemon.
details of it.
And so the whole thing was basically
That
about,
was the Pokemon thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pokemon are basically throwing surprise editions on that thing, so that Power World has got no other option but to to change certain features out, to chop and change certain features out of compliance's sake. Because
And
Pokemon
Yeah,
is
we talked
basically
about
trying
that a
to
while ago. I
monopolize
thought
their
it was
idea.
like over with.
no, it's still going. Power World isn't
Oh,
on
shit.
the Switch, but this game is.
Oh, okay.
And then and the funny part is,
and
Power World
because
is-
it's so similar in structure, it's probably going to be the same thing. Like I thought that lawsuit was already done, because they changed it from like Pokemon-ish. Oh
right,
man,
they
what the
can't
heck?
do the
And
whole
now
Pokeball
this.
thing now and all that.
Oh
But,
my god.
yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I'm
But-
really not
yeah.
familiar with the details going on currently, but I don't think they're gonna. Do you think they're gonna add this to that?
No, there won't be any. Like lawsuits move slowly, so my best bet is it's going to take quite a fair amount of time to finish off.
It's just highly ironic that this stupid game that's a blatant copy. I mean, fine, they put some effort into the assets, but some of them.
All right, I think
but it's on the eShop.
Yeah. Let me just have a thing to show you. Have a look at these pictures from Power Land.
That's actual game.
Yes.
The screenshots from the
Okay.
actual game. If you see the video of it, it's just bad.
Ooh.
It's like I said, it's like somebody basically, imported a bunch of things that they made quirkily with Spore and, and did goodness knows what with it. Like, don't you reckon?
Yeah, that does kind of look like a spore creature.
And the fact is, but you're right, it's just like the whole ramifications of this are just crazy. Like, Nintendo will accept Power World knockoffs, but not Power World itself proper. Well, instead, you know what Power World does? They basically went all buddy-buddy with Sony and Microsoft. And, that's really all you kind of need.
Yeah, pretty much. So, the gameplay is basically identical. It's just like a not so great version of the original.
Uh-huh.
Is it as popular? Like, how many people are playing this game in comparison to like its non-version or like the real version?
If it was popular,
Like how big?
Nintendo would kick the game off.
Right,
They
like,
would remove it
in
from the
terms
Switch.
of sales figures.
Right,
But
so it's
remember,
not big enough for them to worry about.
No, because remember, Power World basically in its first month got millions and millions and millions of players in its first month alone.
Yeah, that was nuts.
But the animals on that game were so cute. That's why.
But I will say this, like, as a note of optimism: if you want an upcoming Power World like game with amazing production value, actually cute designs, and that, there is a game that's basically made by. It looks Korean in aesthetic, but it's made by the Chinese, which was made to my attention from Noble. Thank you. So, this is a game called Animo.
Animo?
And yeah. We can watch the trailer together. We've got time. Hang on a second. Yeah. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's. I think you'll kind of be amazed by the production value
adventure
here.
with me? Multiple adorable Animo are living here. This is a whole new world, brand new universe.
I know, like it just keeps amazing me with. But yeah, like let's just stop there for now. But like you already like are drawn in by just how it all looks together, right? Like it's already like infinitely better in the graphic department.
Yeah, it looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like a Pixar movie in some way.
It totally does. Like this could be a trailer for a Pixar film. Wow. And the gameplay is like this? That's crazy, man.
No, this is just a trailer.
Yeah, but the trailer does actually show some gameplay as well. So bit by bit, it's and even then, and you know what the best part is, it's even got a demo that you can actually get your hands on and play it.
Now that has to be a Jurassic Park scene. Well, inspired by. Psst.
Yeah, still. And there's this, and I think there's a feature that you can do in this game that you cannot quite do in Pal World or Pokemon.
What's that?
Just watch this. Watch your scene. Watch what happens to the girl character. Hang on. She basically, if you saw
Whoa! Oh, that's cool. What? Oh, she can transform to different ones, different Pokemon, or what are they called in this world?
Animo, they're called it. That's
Animo.
the name
Okay,
of the
she
game.
can turn into a different one. Oh, that's so wow! Look at this. That's freaking wild, man.
Yeah, if you ever watched Digimon or sort of dug into some of the Pokemon comics, this sort of thing did actually happen in the show. in the
Mhm.
franchise, but it wasn't mainstream. Digimon, however, it was. I think it's like season 5 where
Right, Digimon Frontier basically mainstream, like took the idea of that and just even season 3 with the with the bio mergers they did that.
yeah, that was a close one though. It's still two different creatures, things coming together.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's so. It really does look. It's so amazing now. It just remarks that the rise of the gaming revolution will now be spearheaded by Asia. And yes, like you said, like this is the actual gameplay that's in the trailer. This is
Wow. Well, they definitely got their designs and graphics down.
100%. And yeah, like
And I'm sure furries are going to totally eat this up because,
Yeah, I
Animo
imagine so.
transforming into all these creatures. I mean, come on. Like, how can we not?
If the right person catches on to this, it'll explode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's the gameplay footage.
Yeah, you actually become them. Move like
So
them.
fun. And you get like different powers and abilities like for each different
Yeah.
environment. Wow, look at that. Wow. Yeah, this looks really good. I might want to get this. It's
100%,
available
yeah.
now, right?
You can have the demo right now. The game will be out probably like we're looking at a time frame of
Oh
next
yeah,
year.
the demo. That's what I meant.
But-
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, I think I'll download that, give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do the same thing too. Like play the demo and just
Yeah,
my
I
feel
want
of
to turn into that little star guy. He looks cute.
I know it's. And it's crazy. Like the designs are very, very clearly inspired, but yet not so not as egregious as Palworld was like in the early days when it came out.
Yeah, I would definitely say this has like its own identity when it comes to animation style. I'm not too sure about the
and the
story
design.
exactly, but already it seems like there was definitely some effort put into this to differentiate, and just its own project too.
Yeah. Like I mean, you have that. There's there's a couple of things that do strike out at you. How you have an otter with a weapon. Pokemon did that, and now
Yeah. Yep. Well, of
Yeah,
course,
like-
there's going to be inspiration thrown in there, of course,
yeah, that one.
like Blastoise.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea we ended on a high note with this episode somehow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. I'm so done with censorship.
Right. And it's just so funny. Like we basically showed like bargain bin knockoff Palworld, and then we basically showed the good kind of Palworld style game that actually has some of the substance. Crazy.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. So, and you're right. No, it is time to end the show. So, what have we got? Like, what a crazy week it's been. What do you guys think of just the closing statement?
Yeah, definitely a crazy week. We didn't mention this, but last week there was the Utah fur gathering, which is
That's right.
a buddy of mine went there, and it looked really cool. He said over like a few thousand people went. I think it was like 2,000 people. I was surprised that Utah has such a a furry scene, and just goes to show there's many places throughout the country that I think fur cons are becoming like more common in different states, even like smaller to medium ones. So that's something to look into. Aside from that, though, to sum up the week, I heard about this censorship going on with the payment processing and all of that. It was a very complicated issue, but I hope all that get resolved. From what it looks like, is some angry Karens are just going to the manager's manager at this point. So if these companies are going to be lying about it, rolling back on what they said, not really a big fan of that. And of course, it goes into all the legal weird issues I said. And then getting into the Adobe thing, not really a big fan of them looking into like your private gallery. So like that's why you don't want to upload things to the cloud, because let's say, God forbid, the server goes down, or you don't pay your monthly subscription. Now all of your photos are just gone, all your videos, everything. Let's say if there's important documents on there, not really smart to do that, but people do it. So it's a problem. Photos you can't get back, let's say videos with like your loved ones if they die. And you don't want people looking into that and then banning you on some platform 3 years later because you posted boobs or something. You don't, that's stupid. Oh boy. And summing up on the zoo, the Denmark Zoo, like I said before, I don't think there's any problem with it. It's definitely quirky and, well, so long as it's legal and everything's safe, I mean, I guess it's a way to bring attention to the zoo. So that's something. And aside from that, I don't really have anything else. So it was super awesome. Okay.
It is super awesome. And what about you, Noah?
Yeah, it was a super awesome night, man. Glad I was here.
Well, I'm honestly loving watching Adobe get on their Jenga tower and just kick off a couple more bricks. I can't wait to see exactly what they do that finally causes the whole thing to collapse. I really, really can't. And it's really fascinating to watch the whole, Aussie Karen thing sort of unfold. I should look up if I can find anything about the actual group itself here in Australia, of these particular asshole women who seem to think that they control everything on the internet, just like our czar for social media BS. Do you remember the stuff in the news about that, Jolt?
Oh yeah.
We had a government agency trying to, police the internet, what was posted on social media around the world, not just here in Australia.
Yeah, well.
Oh. And kudos though, going after it appears to be Visa and MasterCard, but it may also be directly actual banks that are doing this too, which if those Karens decided to target those kinds of institutions in such a way that they'd turn around and actually take action, it just shows how smart they are. Kind of wish they'd invest their energy and time in something more better for society. But then again, who knows?
Good point.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how this is all turning into though, but still, we shall see how this all plays out in the next couple of, in the weeks and months and so on, years ahead. And then maybe our strategies do have to adapt. How we handle the money. So yeah, crazy stuff. So we'd like to end it here and say, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did making the show. And as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Blur.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more. This is all we got for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
Gesundheit.
Hour.